Game Nexus.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Game Nexus. It's Dwayne here, and today we are going to be doing another playthrough with my all-time favorite Avenger, favorite Marvel character, Captain America, and we're going to be doing a quick little playthrough against Rhino with the optional bomb scare side scheme inserted into his deck. I haven't done Rhino in a while. My partner and I, Kyle, who usually does these videos with me, we tackled him way back when, had a hard time, but once we learned the game, we took him on and beat him, and we haven't looked back. So I thought I'd take Captain America on a little tour, wandering down the streets of Manhattan, sees Rhino stirring up some problems, and decides to take him on solo. So first things first, I got everything laid out, and I'm going to draw Steve Rogers' starting hand of 6 cards. Let's see what we get. My dials are set in. The scheme is set to a 7 threat because there's only one of me. Rhino is at 14 health, so my goal is to hit him hard, hit him fast, and take him down quick before that scheme gets out of hand. I haven't done a solo playthrough in a while, so I'm not too sure how well I'll do. So right off the bat, I'm going to look and see if I've got Cap's shield. I do not, so I'm going to go through my starting or my deck and look for Cap shield as per Steve Rogers' ability and put that into my hand. I do get some questions about that because a lot of people think that if you pull Cap's shield as your starting hand, it's like, hey, bonus, I got a shield. But you actually get to mulligan that and redraw a card for that, so you can pull that out of your discard pile. So discard your shield if you get it in your hand, and then go back in and pull another card to replace it, because Cap's ability is obviously to get his shield. So that's in my hand. So we'll start things off. I'm going to get that shield on the table. It's a 1 cost card, so I've got to get that out there. It's kind of silly not to. See what I've got here. I'll lay them out. Okay. So we've got a Heroic Strike, Strength in Numbers. I've got a Super Soldier Serum, Cap Shield, Fearless Determination, the Vision, and Get Ready. And Vision actually, having this deck actually is a leadership deck, so I've really put some stock in my allies this time around. Vision is a 4 to get out, and normally I'd like to get the Quinjet on the table before I start slapping down allies. So first things first, we'll get the shield going, and I'll pay for that with the Super Soldier Serum. Okay, what I have left, well, it's a 3-point card. I really want to keep Vision around there, so I'm going to see if I can do Heroic Strike. It is a 6 attack. It's a deal 6 damage. It's a hero action, so I'm going to have to convert over to Cap. To an enemy, if you pay for this card using a physical resource, I can stun that enemy. So I'm going to do that. If I have the points here, 1, 2, 3. I'll have to get rid of Vision to do it. So maybe Heroic Strike's going to have to wait, but you know what? Let's just do it. So I'll pay for, first off, I'll switch Cap. Well, actually, see, Steve Rogers, I can reduce the cost of Vision down to 3. I can get Vision out right now. So the question is what's more important, Vision or the Heroic Strike? And I need mental resources to charge him up. 3 cards to power him up. 1, 2, 3 gets him on the table. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get Vision on the table, guys. Okay, so a little change of plans here. So Living Legend, reduce the cost of the first ally played by each round by 1. I'm going to play to the strategy of my deck. Pay for Vision, that's 3. So I'll pay for it with Heroic Strike. I'll pay it for Strength in Numbers, and I'll pay for it with Get Ready. So that's 3 cards, gets the Vision on the table. I'm going to convert Cap over to, or Steve Rogers over to Cap, get him ready for combat. And one of the cool things about Captain America is that if I have extra cards, I can discard a card and ready him up again. So in theory, if you play your hand right, Cap's either always blocking or always attacking. In this case, I only have 1 card left. So I'm going to tap Cap with a basic attack of 2. His shield doesn't actually add to his attack, it's his defense. So Rhino's taken a hit. He's down to 14, down to 12. Okay. And Cap's then tapped. I am going to use a Vision, and I'm going to actually spend a mental resource, because as per his ability, so spend a mental Oh, I misdraw that. It's not a mental resource, it's an energy resource. Okay, well, that's not working out too good then. Well, at least Vision's going to get attacked. So his keyword basically is spend an energy resource. I don't know why I thought it was mental. And get +2 thwart or attack until the end of the phase for Vision. So that's pretty cool. But in this case, we are going to just do a regular Vision attack. So that's a 2. And Vision will take a damage. Actually, I don't prefer to look at it as damage. I just kind of look at it as resources. You know, like Vision's going to flee the scene or head back to base once he hits 3. So another 2 damage to Rhino. So he's down to 10 now. And that would be the end of my turn. I could discard an attack. You know what? I'm going to discard Fearless Determination. Might as well hit Rhino quick and fast. That's going to ready Cap up. So his abilities, I could do this all day. Discard 1 card from your hand, and then ready once per round. So Cap is readied up, and then you know what? I'm going to get him to attack again. So let's hit Rhino with everything we got in the first round. So Rhino's down to 8, and that is it for me. So being that I'm a solo player, I'm going to ready up all my cards, just like that, and basically get ready for Rhino. So Rhino then immediately thwarts, or the scheme thwarts. So it's going to have +1 threat, or not thwart, sorry, scheme. It's going to have +1 per player. So it gets the good old 1 there. And Rhino has a look around at the scene of battle and sees if he sees any heroes. And if he sees any heroes, he's going to attack. And if he sees any civilians, which would be Steve Rogers, he's going to scheme. So in this case, he's going to attack. And I have to decide if Cap's going to take it or if Cap's going to block. And at this point, oh, and sorry, before we go too far ahead, I forgot to redraw my hand. So I have no cards. I'm going to draw 5 cards. Sorry, that was a crucial step that I missed last round. I'll play these down here, so hopefully you can see. You might not be able to see because of the camera, but we'll get it going down here. So 5 cards instead of my 6, because I'm in Cap mode and my hand size is a little bit smaller. Okay, so back to Rhino. He sees Cap. I have to decide if I'm going to block. You know what? I'm not going to. It's early in the game. Rhino doesn't really have any enhancements out just yet, so he's not going to hit as hard. So he's going to attack Cap, and he gets a boost. So we'll flip that boost over. Okay, so that boost looks like it revealed +1. So Rhino's going to hit Cap for 3 damage in total. So Cap's going to take that on the chin. He's down to 8. Okay, so Cap's down to 8 hit points, and then that goes away. Okay, so next up for Rhino, he's going to encounter Cap. Oh, here we go. So I've got an advanced card. So when revealed, this villain schemes. So as per scheming rules, we're going to get a boost to that scheme. And it looks like it's a +1 plus the 1 scheme that Rhino has. So he's going to scheme for 2. So I'm going to put down 2 tokens because I think I'm going to be removing some of this soon here anyway. Okay, so that was quick, round 1, and we are already up to 3 threat on a 7 threat encounter. So let's go back over to my hand. So Cap's looking at whether or not he wants to thwart or attack. I do have in my hand, I have Falcon as another ally that came in. I'm a little scared about that threat level, so I'm not sure how I'm going to play this out. Falcon's going to come in at 4, so unfortunately I have to sacrifice my whole hand almost again just to get him on the table. I do have some energy, so Vision can hit hard. I could probably revert Cap over to his thwarting mode as opposed to attacking mode. So let's do that. So first things first, let's ditch my Triskelion, and it is an energy card. And that's going to go to Vision. And it says, action spend a energy resource and choose thwart or attack until the end of the phase. Vision gets +2 to the chosen power. So we're going to do attack. So Vision's going to get +2 to his attack. He's going to take another hit in this battle. Vision's turning pretty good, but that's going to give him 4. So Rhino is knocked down to 4. And now we're back over to what Cap wants to do. I don't have enough resources to get Falcon into the match. Unfortunately, he's a pretty hefty 4 cost. I do have shield block. It's an interrupt, so I'm going to keep that handy just in case I take some big damage. Strength in numbers, exhaust any number of allies you control. Vision's already exhausted. And I could draw a card, but I'm okay at that. And then Power of Leadership. Double the number of resources this card generates when paying for a leadership blue card. Uh, so that's 2. Then Falcon would only cost me 2 to get him into play. That's an interesting question. So let's do this. Let's get Cap thwarting. So we're going to turn him. We're going to thwart for 2, just to keep that scheme in check, because it can get away from you really quick if you don't pay attention to it. Let's discard strength in numbers at the moment to get Cap ready at the table again. And this time around, let's see. Do I want Falcon in for 2? Or do I want to hit Cap? This is a tough one. I think Falcon and Cap would be able to go knock Rhino right down, eh? No, I wouldn't be able to. So I'm gonna exhaust Cap or tap, whatever terminology you like using, and I'll deal another 2 points of damage to Rhino. Rhino's down to 2. Okay, and that pretty much concludes my turn. I will then unexhaust everybody. And I will draw back up. I've got 3 cards in hand, so it means I'm drawing 2 more. Another Power of Leadership, and a Haymaker. It's always good for some damage. Okay, and then we revert back over to Rhino. So the scheme is going to get another 1 on it. Right there. And Rhino looks around, sees any heroes. Yes, he does. Cap's still in his superhero identity, so he's going to attack Cap. Now I have to decide if I'm going to block this or not, or defend with it rather. So I'm at 8 right now. It's going to do at least another 2, maybe 3, knock me back down again. So I think in this case I'm going to block this one, just because I don't know if I have time to switch back over to my secret identity and spend a round healing. Although I do have some allies. So you know what? Maybe I'm going to block this one. So Cap's defense now is 3 because he has this shield, and he does have retaliate 1, which is cool because that means that when I do block, I'm going to hit Rhino back for 1. So let's see what Rhino pulls. There we go. So that is the 3 that I thought. He gets +1 plus the 2 attack. That's 3. So Cap does defend against that, and his retaliate 1 knocks Rhino down to 1. Stage 1 Rhino has taken a beating. Now he's going to encounter Cap. So let's flip that over. Let's see what encounters. Ooh, assault. So when revealed in hero mode, the villain attacks me. Okay, so unfortunately this time I don't have the opportunity to block it. I do have a nice shield block handy if I do want to. And the nice thing about shield block is I don't have to make the decision up front. I can just interrupt. So after I've taken the damage, basically, I can then use shield block. So let's just do the attack. So Rhino's going to attack 2 plus his boost. So 3. So the question at hand is, do I want to use shield block? I'm going to use shield block. You know what? I'm at 8. I'm pretty happy. So let's ditch shield block. And that's going to go to my discard, and the damage is nullified. Nice try, Rhino. It's Captain America you're dealing with today. Okay, so that is it for Rhino's turn. We're going to zip back over to Cap. Unfortunately, I am tapped at this point. So I'm going to have to spend a card to untap him if I want to use him. First things first, I'm going to use Haymaker. Haymaker is it's a 2-point card. It's a basic card. Ugh, it means I'm going to have to get rid of power leaderships to do it. And then ditch Falcon to turn Cap back around. You know what? I could also get Falcon on the table. Because Power of Leadership is going to let me pay Leadership blue card. So you know what? I could actually ditch both Power of Leaderships to get Falcon on the table. And again, I'm going to play to the strength of my deck. My deck build was built around having allies on the table instead of just Cap, so I'm going to pay for 2 of those. Now these are going to double for each card, so 4 if I'm paying for a blue card, and Falcon is a blue ally. So Falcon's coming into the game. Okay. Um, so, having said that, I might be in a good spot here to take Rhino out. The sad thing is at this point, though, any damage carryover is not going to carry over to second form Rhino. So if I take one of my allies here to deal with him, he's going to switch over, and then I'll have to sacrifice one. But I'll do that. So let's do that. Let's spend a resource. Not just yet. Let's use Falcon with his 2 attack. Now it says, first, when Falcon enters play, look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. For each treachery looked at this way, remove 1 threat. So let's have a look and see if there's any treachery. So, no, side scheme, well, that's coming up. There's a treachery. And nothing. So that's going to go back. Now I just look at the top 3. I don't get to reshuffle it. And that's going to go back there. So that's coming up. But it is a treachery card. So it says with Falcon's ability, it's for each treachery looked at it this way, remove 1 threat. So guess what? Threat goes down. But we do know some dangers coming up. Thanks for your scouting out, Falcon. So, having said that, Falcon will go into fight mode. So he's going to deal 2 damage to Rhino. It's going to knock Rhino down to 0. And then we're going to flip Rhino to stage 2. And stage 2 Rhino then has 15 hit points. So now he's really pissed off. And when we reveal Rhino stage 2, search the encounter deck and discard ball for the break-in and take-in side scheme and reveal it, and then shuffle. So I don't remember seeing it on the discard pile. We'll have a look. No, it wasn't in the discard pile. So we're going to go for the encounter deck. Now the neat thing about this, though, is we may have just dodged a bullet, because I'm going to look for the break-in and take-in, and then I'm going to reshuffle the encounter deck, which is cool. So maybe my treachery and side scheme won't come up. So I'm just going to go through looking for the break-in and take-in. That's break-in and take-in right there. Okay, and we're going to reshuffle this deck, which means my Nemesis side scheme isn't coming up based on that treachery card, Shadows of the Past, that we saw. Nice and nice. Breaking and taken's not fun. It's going to slow the game down a little bit. But I've got 2 allies out, so I'm feeling pretty good. Okay, so breaking and taken. Rhino is breaking and taking them. Breaking things and taking them. When revealed, place an additional +1 per player threat here. And it's a hazard icon, so I have to deal an extra encounter card during the villain phase. So, we put a threat there. Now, this is not a crisis, which means I can deal with the main threat and or this one. The only drawback to not dealing with this threat is the fact that for every round, Rhino is going to get 2 encounters against me and my team versus the 1. So that's the only real issue at play there. So we'll have to see how this plays out, whether or not I want to keep taking those encounters. Let's deal with the main theme. Rhino's got 15 hit points left. Let's see what we can do. Okay, so that was Rhino's encounter, and now it's over to Cap. Just double check here, make sure I got my cards. No, that was my turn, sorry. I was still in the middle of my turn. So Falcon did the attack, switches Rhino. Now we'll bring Vision into play, and I'm going to spend my Haymaker resource. Yeah, I'm going to spend my Haymaker resource. I said Cap. I could bring Cap back, but I can't. So I'll do my Haymaker resource, which is an energy. It's going to give Vision that +2 again to attack, so he's going to hit Rhino with 4. So Rhino's down to 11 on stage 2 Rhino. And he hits harder though, so and Vision is gone from play, so he takes that 3rd damage, and now he's actually removed from the game. It's a good thing I got Falcon out. Goes my discard pile. Okay, and that would be it. Cap is already tapped, so he can't attack this round. I can switch him over to his secret identity mode if I wanted to, but I think I will keep him as Cap 1 more round. So we're going to refresh everybody, and I'll redraw my hand size back up 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now it's Rhino's turn. Now the other thing I forgot to do last round is I could technically have used Vision to block any damage, but Falcon's still here, so I'm going to use Falcon for that if I need to. So I got another Haymaker, I've got an Energy, Get Ready, Heroic Strike again, and yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so Rhino's going to hit Cap. So question of the day, is Cap going to take it? He's hitting with 3 minimum now. So Cap's shield's going to block that 3 if he wants to. It'll tap him. But any overflow is going to hit him. Or I could use Falcon to soak up the overflow. So I'm not going to sacrifice Cap this round for that. So I'll let him take the hit. Falcon can always take it if he needs to. Or I could block it, eh? You know what? Let's tap Cap to use his shield, and we'll take the overflow, I guess. So let's see how that works. So first attack from Rhino. Okay, wow, it's a good thing. So I'm glad that this came out as a boost card instead of an equipment card. So it is 2 added to Rhino's 3, so it's 5. Cap's going to take 2 damage, brings him down to 6. Still not at half, or just close to half. So that's fine. I won't use Falcon to take the overflow, because I want to keep him on the table as long as I can. Now, because Breaking and Taken's on the table, it means we're going to have 2. Well, actually, sorry. I had that back in there. Forgot the scheming. At the beginning of the round, the villains always have to, or the threat, or the scheme has to add threat to it. And so these now have 2 and 2 respectively. So now the next step is the encounter, but because we have Breaking and Taken, it's going to be 2 encounters. So I'm going to flip the first one. So first one's hard to keep down. When revealed, Rhino heals 4 damage. If no damage was healed this way, the card gains Surge. Okay, so he's going to heal 4 damage. So it puts him back up to 15. Okay, well that sucked. And for second encounter, Armored Rhino suit attached to Rhino. When any amount of damage would be dealt to Rhino, place it here instead. If there's at least 5 damage here, discard it. So I need to do 5 damage to this thing before Rhino's armored suit's going away. So that's some interesting developments. That finishes Rhino's turn. Back over to my team. Yeah, very interesting. So I have to do 5 damage to get rid of that suit, and then I can start punching through to Rhino again. He's got 15 health. I've got a Haymaker. I've got some good resource cards in the form of Energy and Genius. I have Get Ready, which is a 0-cost card, which means I can ready Falcon after his attack. So technically Falcon can go twice. And I have Heroic Strike, which is a 6 damage, and it's a 3-point card. So you know what? I think I'm going to do this. I don't have a physical resource to pay for it. Well, I could. You know what I'm going to do? Yeah, let's play this out and see how this works. Okay, so first things first, let's do Heroic Strike. It's a hero action, so I'll pay for that using Get Ready, which is a physical resource, and I'll pay for it with Energy. Okay, so that's my 3 resources right there, but because I'm paying for it with a physical resource, this is going to get stunned, so it's going to deal 6 damage, so say goodbye to Rhino's armor. So that's down. So he's going to take 1 damage. And then he's also going to be stunned, which is going to help out as well. So he's going to take the 1 damage down to 14. Feel good about that. And he's going to be stunned. So a stun status is nice. The next time this character would attack, discard the card instead. So I get sort of a reprieve from Rhino's aggression. Okay, my cards are down to 2 now. I've got a Haymaker, which is going to cost me 2. So I could throw a Haymaker in there. It's going to deal 3 damage to an enemy. Cap really can't attack this round unless I discard a card. He's only doing 2 on his own anyway. So I think I will spend the Genius, and that's going to pay for my Haymaker, which is 2, and it's going to deal 3 damage. So down to 11, Rhino. Okay. Next up is Falcon. So Falcon's going to actually thwart. You know what? I think at this point I'm under control as far as Rhino. I don't need to keep hitting him this hard. So I think what I'm going to do with Falcon is Falcon's going to thwart. He's going to take that one. Um, oh, sorry, and I also forgot to add that one from last round there. So Falcon's going to thwart, and I'm going to thwart off of. Now, do I want to keep taking those? He's going to thwart for 2, so he could get rid of that. So let's just get rid of breaking and taking. So that's 2 right off there. It's a thwart of 2. That's a pretty good. And breaking and taking's gone. So now we can focus on the main scheme. Thanks, Falcon. I knew this ally theme deck would work out good at some point. That's it for me. I'm going to untap Cap, untap Falcon, and we are now over to Rhino. So first things first, Rhino looks around. Can he attack anybody? Sure can, but guess what, Rhino? You're stunned. So his attack this round is getting forfeited because of the stun card. So that's nice. The breaking and taken's gone, so now he's only going to draw 1 encounter card. So let's do the encounter card. Caught off guard. When revealed, discard an upgrade or support you control. If no cards are discarded this way, the card gains surge. Well, guess what? Cap got caught off guard and he lost his shield. That's terrible. That's not coming back. That's Steve Rogers. That's just a setup. Yeah, I don't get to pull that out. Okay. Well, that wasn't fun. I guess the trade-off for protecting myself that round was losing my shield. But we know that Cap's more than just a shield. So, back over to... Oh, my turn. Again, I forgot. Sorry, guys. From the previous round, I forgot to redraw my hand. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a step that I always seem to forget. I've been playing with Kyle, so I always forget when solo play comes around. I forget my steps. Got another ally. I got Mockingbird. I got Hawkeye, and I got some first aid. Okay, so hero's turn. We're gonna have Falcon for one more round. Thread's under control. Oh, see, I forgot, guys. Forgot to put that scheme on there. For Rhino last round. So Thread's sort of under control. Not 100%, but I can get it there. Cap's got an attack without a shield that he could do. His health is sort of okay. Hawkeye's coming in. Mockingbird. I'd rather get Mockingbird. She's going to stun Rhino if she comes in, but she's 3. I do have Inspired attached to an ally. Maximum per ally. Attached ally gets +1 thwart and +1 attack. So I could send Falcon out in a blaze of glory this round. He'd have the ability to pretty much get rid of all the threat, which I think I might do with Inspired. It's only going to cost me 1, so I'll spend Hawkeye because Mockingbird's going to come in, and Hawkeye. I don't have any minions on the table, and Hawkeye's really good against minions. So I'm going to spend Hawkeye to bring out Inspired, and he's going to inspire Falcon, and Falcon's going to get, well, let's deal with Falcon right now. Falcon on his way out is going to thwart for 3, so he's going to ditch all 3 from break-in, which is really nice, and we will say goodbye to Falcon because that brings him up to 3. And I think Sam did a good job overall. I think he was effective for me. So that's gone. So now we're down to a reduced hand. I have Mockingbird. I can't get her under the table this round because of the fact that she costs 3 and first aid. So let's get Cap attacking. So Cap's going to attack. Now that we're dealing with no thwart, he's free to pummel Rhino. And that's 2. So I'll bring that down to 9. And then I think what I'll do is I will spend first aid. Well, that's all I can do. No, I'm going to spend Inspired, which is a 1 resource card, and I'm going to play first aid, and that's going to heal 2 damage for Cap. So Cap's now up to 8, because I have a feeling Rhino's going to hit hard this turn. Okay, and that leaves me with a 3-point Mockingbird, or 3-cost Mockingbird to get back into the game, and unfortunately I won't do it with this turn. So I think what I'll do is I will revert Cap into his secret identity mode, because I don't really have any on the table that I can rely on to block. I don't have anything really. He's kind of needs to lick his wounds. He only has 3 more health to be full, so we'll go to that, and then we refresh at the end. Okay, I'll replenish my hand now. My hand size is 6, so I have 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's good. I got Shield Tossed, Haymaker, Agent 13, Sharon Carter, and Make the Call, as long as Mockingbird. And Make the Call is cool, actually, because I can pay the printed cost of an ally in any player's discard pile and pull that ally into play. So I can dig Vision or Falcon back out if I want to. So we'll see. Okay, so back over to Rhino. The scheme is going to get +1 threat. And then Rhino looks around the table and says, what do I see? I see no heroes to fight. So he's going to scheme with a boost. And that's a boost of +1. So he gets +2 more scheme. That's what happens when you take a day off, Cap. There you go. It's back up to 3 now. And he cannot encounter or he cannot attack, sorry, but he can encounter. So he'll do 1 encounter. And this one says, Explosion when revealed. If Bomb Scare is in play, assign X damage among heroes and allies where X is the amount of threats on the Bomb Scare. If Bomb Scare is not in play, this card gains Surge. So Surge is, we draw another one. Stampede. When revealed in Alter Ego, this card gains Surge. Okay. Next one. Shocker. When revealed, deal 1 damage to each hero. So our first minion of the day. Rhino calls for some backup. Shocker goes 1 damage to each hero. So Cap's down to 7. Okay. And that concludes Rhino's turn. So now we're back over to my side. So I'm at 7 in my secret identity mode. Now the thing is, if I do healing at this point, I can't do anything with Cap. So I've got to rely on my allies and such. So I guess the question is I've got 9 hit points. If I flip over to Cap, I've got 2. Luckily, Shocker doesn't have the Guardian or Guard keyword, which means I can't attack Rhino. I can ignore Shocker for now. Can I get Vision out of the box? It's going to cost 4. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4 to get Vision out. 2, 3, 4, and then I just have Agent 13 who can do nothing. And then Vision would be able to hit for 2. I mean, Cap could hit for 2. That's 4, brings him down. Yeah, it's a little bit of a stretch. I can get Carter out for 2, and she'll hit for 2. And she removes some threat. Let's get Agent 13 out. Okay, so Sharon Carter is going to come in. She has a cost of 3, but I'm in Steve Rogers mode, and it's the first ally each round is reduced by 1, so she's only going to cost 2 to get out. So let's sacrifice Shield Toss. I don't have a shield to throw, and so Shield Toss is 1, and let's sacrifice Make the Call. And that is going to be my 2 that I need for her. Now, when she arrives after Agent 13, I'm just going to remove 2 threat from a scheme. So that was why I wanted her in, because she can take care of some threat as well as being an actual active participant. She only has a 1 attack, however, so she's not super duper powerful. Okay, so let's do this next. Let's flip Cap. This is getting dangerous, but let's flip Cap over to hero mode, and let's get him doing 2 damage to Rhino. Let's tap him that way. Rhino's down to 7, just like that. Okay, let's tap Agent Carter. She's only going to do 1 attack, and she'll take that. He's down to 6. Let's play. Now the question is, do I want to discard a card to get Cap into the fray, or do I want to play Haymaker for 3? And then if Cap goes, he won't have any defense. Well, he'll have his shieldless block. let's pay for Haymaker. And Haymaker is a hero action, deal 3 damage. So Rhino's down to 3. And that would be the end of my turn. And everybody goes back. And now, over to Rhino. So first things first, let's add that threat there, the break-in threat. And let's deal with this attack situation. So there is a hero on the table. Agent Carter can take 2 of that if it's overflowing. Sorry guys. Again, you gotta remind me somehow. I gotta draw my cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have a look at that. That's gonna influence my ability or my decision making. Squirrel Girl. And there's my Quinjet. A little bit late there, but whatever. Right, okay, so Cap's got 7 damage. I don't think Cap's going to be able to die this round. But then again, there is a Shocker, and Shocker's dealing 2 damage. So there's 2, 5 right off the bat. That's 5. Yeah, I have to defend. So I'll defend against Rhino. And that's going to be a 2 defense. So Rhino's going to boost this, and let's see what happens. So 1, so he's 3 plus 1 is 4. So that is going to, 2 of it's going to get blocked. The Cap's defense, so he's down to 5 now. And he's turned sideways. Next up is Shocker. Shocker is going to not boost attack with 2. And I think I'll let Sharon take it. Just because she's not really hitting with too much, and her main thing was to thwart when she came in. So she takes the extra 2 from Shocker and removes her from play. Okay, and that ends the villains attacking. We're going to do an encounter here. Bomb Scare! Oh, wonderful. So Bomb Scare. Reports are in that Hydra agents have planted a bomb in a nearby hotel. When revealed, place an additional threat here. Okay, so that goes there. It gets a threat, and it's an accelerator, so that's not fun. So at the beginning of the phase, the main scheme. I guess the main scheme, I'll double check. Acceleration, place 1 threat on the main scheme at the start of the villain phase, right? But again, I might be able to take Rhino out before we even get to that issue on the threat. Okay, so that's the encounter. Back over to the heroes. Or hero. Cap is tapped. I've got a helmet, I've got first aid, and I've got Squirrel Girl. Neat thing about Squirrel Girl, she does do 1 damage. So I think I can win the game here, guys. So let's do this. Let's discard Quinjet to get Cap back on his feet. Thank you, Cap. Okay, let's get Squirrel Girl into the game. She's a cost of 2, so I'll use Cap's helmet and first aid for that. Done. Now Squirrel Girl says when she enters play, deal 1 damage to each enemy. So Shocker's going to get 1 damage. He can only take 3. And Rhino is going to take 1 damage. He's down to 1. Okay. Or down to 2, sorry. Not 1. Okay. And you know what? Cap's going in to attack. Rhino, you're done. Victory. Nice job, Cap. That was a little tense in some parts, but I think I played to the strategy well, relying on my my allies as opposed to just fighting solo. And I think that was some of the problems we had early on when we were playing the game when we first got it, was simply just relying on our main hero, not realizing the value that our allies bring. So altogether, it was a pretty clean playthrough. Please let me know if I made any mistakes. Put those down in the comments, and or anything that you would have done differently, or if there's any rules that I missed. But overall, it was a great playthrough. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe, and hit up the Into the Game Nexus website at www.intothegamenexus.com. Till next time.
Game Nexus.
This video was created with the help of the Game Nexus, a group of people who help content creators reach their goals as well as host their content. Their link is in the description below.